Friend, where are you? Found you hiding here in the near clear blue.
He's been cited by Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, Benny Johnson, Timcast, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, and even the United States government.
Hey, the Pro Show is on.
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Brian Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay. I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Blimey, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird.
Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you. Always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
Alright, everyone, put on your opera glasses. I'm going. Shut up.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom.
Caffeine and alcohol? I don't think so. That's why New Woke Soda is now branching out into beer. Why get buzzed when you can get soy?
Wow, I feel less masculine already. Thanks, New Woke Ale.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo! Indeed it is. And apologies for anybody whose eardrums were just damaged by that. But woo! One more time. It's hump day. And joining us today, we've got Lorne, Congman Lee, and Culture Casino. Welcome to all who are here tonight. And I'm going to have to ask for forgiveness from LW Ghost. We're going to see if he is available for tomorrow's Thursday show. We've been in a bit of a hustle, a shuffle, trying to get things in line. Of course, me doing a lot of traveling with the Dollywood situation. But I want to welcome you back, Congman Lee. It's been a couple months since we've had you on, at least. And I'm looking forward to a very deep series of conversations tonight.
It's going to be fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Lorne, you doing okay? Are you stocked up on chicken for the night?
I'm doing well. I did make chicken this morning, and I think Mike and Leslie have had enough of Campbell's BS.
Chicken in the morning, chicken in the evening, chicken at supper time. Is that how it goes for you?
I also have chicken tacos that are made in the fridge. I love annihilating chickens.
Well, isn't that nice? And Culture Casino is with us. Culture, you are the only one without a hat. I hope Wild Bill William Thompson is out somewhere seeing this and noticing that you are hatless, sir.
Yeah, I can. You know what? I can get a hat if it would make you more comfortable.
No. It's not about me. It's not about me, Culture. It's about you.
It's always about you.
Do you have a pirate hat?
I do.
I'd like to see you in a pirate hat.
The only reason why I'm wearing a hat is because I have no hair.
He pulls his hat off, has a full head of hair. That's called a humble brag. Look at that! Look at that, Congman Lee with the humble brag.
This is nothing compared to how much hair I usually have. It's that I shaved my head a few months ago because I lost a bet online. Because I said I'm gonna shave my head if Korea loses to South Africa in the World Cup.
Oh,
and they lost, and then so I had to shave my head because it went viral after they lost.
We'll see. Lorne has to shave his head, but it's for charity. So,
it's not. Yeah. It's all of his head.
Lorne, when are we shaving your entire head?
You haven't told me yet. It's like I've tried to ask you how are we handling this, and I still haven't gotten a straight answer.
Tell me when September ends. I think, Lorne, September is the month for shaving, going with the shorn Lorne.
The shorn.
Say that again, sorry?
The shorn Lorne begins in September.
Why September? How are we handling this in
September? Well, I mean, we can't keep going forever. I mean, you've got to be shaving at some point.
Well, what I'm getting at is how are we doing it? I'm assuming you want this to actually be televised.
That is a great question. I would like to recommend a dull spork.
Ouch.
Taco Bell spork?
Am I coming back there somewhere so that you can film it? Am I just having it done here and showing up with a shorn head? What are we doing?
This is a difficult question for me, Lorne, because I actually did propose this to the barbershop that you're talking about, and they were exceedingly happy with the idea of shaving you live on camera.
Oh, good. I'm glad they're excited about it. That's great. You didn't give them any special instructions, did you? This is just going to be a regular, just give me a, what did you do?
What?
I saw that look. That was an evil villain look. What did you do?
I just looked at the...
You're not shaving any logos into my scalp. You're not putting any...
I was checking the lens on the camera. I don't have tiny people, tiny protesters like Culture does.
What?
Where'd they go? What? Disappeared like your hat.
I didn't have that's I had nothing.
Smoke bomb. All right, folks, let's dive in. Good golly, what are we doing here? We've got 13 super chats and we've got news breaking as we speak. Geez Louise, enough with the patter. And Lorne, if you hear from LW Ghost, let me know. I'd love to know if he can make it on the Thursday show midday, if that's possible.
Yep. Lou, if you're out there, then send me something in our back channel.
Archer Merchant for 5, Supreme Court about to say STFU, we know what that means. Bought to show us your correspondence and donations with everyone. Well, you know what your organizations are going to show up there, eh? Juliet for 2, morning WDW Pro Panel and Pro Rights. It's always all right when Juliet is with us in the night. Or, for her, early in the morn. Mark Fields for $19.99. This is more than usual. This is more than the positive vibes. What is happening here? Mark Field says, despite all the sad news that has been going on, I would love to share some very positive and absolutely wonderful news. My sister has had 3 bouts of cancer. As of yesterday, she is now cancer-free. Positive vibes. Mark Fields, that is not just good news. That is phenomenal, fantastic, amazing news. And it calls for a celebration.
Perfect.
Thank you again for sharing. We really do appreciate it. Lauren, would you mind to read the next super chat for me while I pull something up?
Sure. Give me just a second. We have Eric Stratton for $20 saying, that was a wonderful impromptu memorial and celebration of Dolly's life today on that park place. The stories, music, and video of Dolly related places at Dollywood.
Folks, if you'd like some more of this, now we've got exclusive videos and my thoughts on it on the Patreon. Recommend you go check that out, but also on X. I can't play any of these on the stream with audio because it features all kinds of copyright music, but I've never experienced anything like this, of course. I went to Dollywood. That's why I was not on last night with that game place. We had to, it was a little bit of an effort to pull this off, but we did, and we're happy, so happy that we did this. I've never been to anything like this, and I don't think anybody will ever be at something like this again. You know, when Walt passed away, Disneyland was open and, everybody was somber. But to go to Dollywood today and to have the theme park overnight switch the background music, all of the background music had been changed to Dolly Parton singing songs about heaven. I've never experienced anything like someone that you're celebrating their life and they're the one, like, it was as if Dolly was there comforting the guests at Dollywood, singing about, the chariot and singing about in the sweet by and by. And it was amazing. It was unbelievable what Dollywood did and the effort that they did. Oh, there we are live up there. The effort that we did, or that Dollywood did to get new signage up and honor her. And tomorrow the park will be closed. She wanted the park open the day after her passing. She wanted to make sure that everybody knew the show must go on. They will close tomorrow. They'll reopen on Friday, and they're going to have some time to work on some things. But what an effort from everybody at Dollywood to get that park ready to go. And the attitude, I would say, of the employees there was just gratefulness. It wasn't somber. It wasn't. There were times they had a moment of silence at the park. There were times when, there was sadness, but for the most part, everybody was just in awe of what she achieved. So way to go, Dolly. And we've got a story on this that unfortunately is a little bit messier than we would wish with somebody's passing, but we'll talk about it. Lauren, you're muted to me. I'll read it for you. Patrick Ganaway for 5. I've always expected that Paramount... This is so funny. For those of you who are worried that this is a really bad expletive, no, it's Paramount Skydance. I've always expected that Paramount Skydance would push this case to the Supreme Court. Well, in fact, it's allies of Paramount Skydance that are taking this to the Supreme Court.
Well, you have a minority of states, attorneys general, that are forcing, this particular bologna sausage. And then you have a majority of states. And it's interesting that they align along political lines that are like, y'all don't have any say in this antitrust stuff because the feds kind of, have supremacy in a lot of these decisions. And that's the supremacy clause.
Yep. It's actually an important case if it gets up to SCOTUS, and I think it has a shot.
It does, yeah.
We'll talk about it. Lauren, keep us going, please.
You want me to read it?
Wait a minute. Oh, we got to read this in a voice. Can you do a foghorn leghorn?
I've never tried. That's why I was asking.
Well, that's even better. That's even better for 5. Go ahead. One of you, take it away. Who's got a foghorn for us?
I say, boy, I say, you can't fix a Hollywood plot by turning in lawsuit into the plot. Bonta's about as sharp as a bowling ball.
Bonta about as sharp as a bowling ball. Little chicken hawk. Little chicken hawk.
Wow. You know what? For a guy that loves chicken, you're a great rooster.
You got to know how to lure him. J7 for 2. First Dolly, now Tim Curry. Having a bad week.
Well, it comes in threes, which, kind of, I have a sense of dread. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
Well, some would say that Hayden, how do we say her last name? Panettiere? Yeah. Some would say that we were at 3, and I'd like for the Cosmos to agree with that. So let's just stop. Okay. Nobody else needs to pass.
Yeah.
Patrick Ganaway gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships.
Thank you so much, Patrick. We do appreciate you. You are a gigawatt.
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
And we got Francis Hates, member for 35 months, saying, "Can someone please stop CERN? Please?"
What are you laughing about, Culture? Has this tickled you?
Well, I mean, yeah, because
you got a hat. That's why you're giggling. It has nothing to do with the super chat. You're just happy you got a hat on now.
CERN is the center of all evil. So I mean, we already are. We're caught in the midst of a black hole. That's what created. What's that weird effect where we can't agree?
So that's how Dolly Parton and Chuck Norris passed in the same year. Then that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Culture. I've zoomed into you because. Did you seriously? There was a discussion of roosters, and you pronounce it rooster for some reason we can't understand. Did you seriously go get a rooster hat to match?
This is my rooster hat. Yeah.
Stop saying it that way. I know you don't actually say it that way in real life.
You've been around me. You know better than that.
Oh boy. Keep it coming, Lauren, please.
Kalioth for 5 saying, "Guess what day it is? Release the shills," Bonta says. "Endless content and diminishing power for the old guard. Let's go."
Let's go. And I hear that Lou will be making it for the noontime show tomorrow, folks. Stop on in tomorrow for LW Ghost, but you can also catch him at the show today. We'll be sending you to the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight.
We've got Snarky the Stink Fudge Dora, member for 17 months, saying, "Can I read this? Do I have to read this?"
Yes, you
can. I'm not sure this is a good idea.
Yeah, I don't
read it. Just read it quickly and be sloppy in the way that you say it.
He's sloppy in how I say it.
Now, the minute it looks like there's gonna be trouble, we got to nip it! Nip it in the bud!
What do you got, Lauren?
The WNBA is not finger looking good.
The sound of
I did not like that at all. Irate Specialist for 5. I don't like this one at all either. Kongman Lee is making Lauren jealous with all of that hair.
That was not my intention.
Right. Hey, Shorn Lauren is coming, which includes the eyebrows. It's going to be
it doesn't. Stop it.
Eyebrows do take a long time to grow back. So I think it'll take an additional $200.
Stop it. Stop it.
$200 super chat. 100 for each eyebrow.
You are not volunteering my eyebrows for this experiment.
300 he takes off the middle.
Oh, no.
Irate Specialist, how do you shave hair that doesn't exist? Cliff Licks for 10, loved your Dollywood coverage today, hoping to go there very soon. Dolly, rest in peace. Finally, a good super chat.
That's right. Cliff Licks, you deserve to document, as you are amazing at doing. You deserve to document every part of Dollywood if you haven't already.
We need to get Cliff Licks
the new
up there.
Attraction, which from everything I'm hearing is
Spectacular, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how the park is decorated. They were actively putting up Dolly Parton banners and all kinds of things that had her faded out in the image, and it said, "I will always love you." Lauren, do you feel badly that this super chat came up after you had removed me from my own show? Do you feel badly about that?
Yeah. I don't feel badly about that at all. Are you ready to behave?
I mean, maybe.
Caffeine and alcohol? I don't think so. That's why New Woke Soda is now branching out into beer. Why get buzzed when you can get soy?
Wow, I feel less masculine already. Thanks, New Woke Ale.
And then
What
we
is
got
this?
Kaleoth.
Do you have New Woke down there? Is that what happened?
That was quick.
He's fast, man.
I like that hat.
Yeah. If you go on a cruise with Disney, you can get a Castaway K hat.
Don't even. That stands for Culture Casino, and we know it. You had that custom made.
We got Kaleoth for another 2 saying there are like several musicians past.
True. And Tim Curry. What a day. Oh, my.
Yeah, I'm ready to pause now on the passings, please.
Me too.
And Dio Racer for 5 saying, we can reduce your oath to shave both eyebrows, Lord. You can get by with only shaving one. Left or right is up to you. By the way, funny story about this. When I was getting to the point where I could shave, or thought that I was getting to the point that I could shave, my dad was constantly making me shave my face because he thought that it looked dumb on a 15-year-old. And knock it off. Just knock it off. But I desperately wanted to grow facial hair. I thought that it was my right to grow facial hair. And so one day I thought that I had outsmarted my old man, and I went into the bathroom and I shaved off half of my mustache. And I came out and I looked at him and he looked at me and he said, all right.
Lauren, do you want to read the next one?
Let me see. Where are we at?
It's a little faded out now.
No. You already covered it. You got that one.
No, come on.
You read it.
Okay. This is from Irate Specialist, one of our most beloved super chatters.
Beloved.
A strong member of the community, someone who we have come to depend upon in times of difficulty and in times of joy. Irate Specialist for $2. Pro. How much to Brazilian wax Lorne?
Oh boy.
To Brazilian.
So I love this idea of us going to the barbershop and Asian women following us in with the wax ready to go, just doing this motion so you know what's coming.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
Pro's my favorite person. Wolfle McGruffle III for $5.43. Just a reminder to everyone who needs it that things will get better even when it doesn't feel like it. Keep the faith.
And that's why we're still having fun, folks, because, bad times happen. We try not to let that rock the boat. We remind everybody out there, gray skies, they come. There are days with gray, but blue is always behind them. The sun is still shining. And we know where the truth with a capital T comes from. So if you're joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, just know it's going to be all right. We mean that, unless culture keeps this up. What is that? It's like a fedora and a vacation hat had a baby and put Nerdrotic on it.
That's closer to a trilby.
Yeah, I feel like I belong in Little Havana right now.
Why do you have a single Nerdrotic pin on it?
Well, because that's where I put
I mean, we
my
love
Nerdrotic
Gary,
pin.
but do you have any other pins on any other hats?
On other hats, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, like that. On my Welcome to the Rebellion hat, I've got a pin on that one. I have like this really interesting hexed pin I came back with. I haven't stuck it on a hat yet though. From that terrible Disney film.
Is there a funny story that's attached to this, or should we just be like,
oh no, they couldn't
literal.
Give these away fast enough. You walked by those people, they're like, hey, have a pin. It was like, wow, okay.
Come on down. You can get Wish ones for free.
Oh, true. Also
true. All right, Douglas Nutt for $5. If it deters the shorn nonsense, how much to eject Pro up there on the right to make this another late night with Lorne stream? All to Lorne's self.
This is actually one of our greatest community members. He stands on the shoulders of giants. He's a wonderful, wonderful man, that Douglas Nutt. What is that a dashiki?
You are not allowed to go long tonight because that's for Lou and I. Lou and I go long.
Oh no, that's
don't ever say that again like that.
What?
Is that a wizard hat with Darth Vader on it? What is this?
It's like the Mickey Mouse hat, the wizard hat.
It's a snowboarding hat. This is what I go snowboarding.
This is not
That's
a snowboarding
what you're
hat.
snowboarding?
This is not a snowboarding. Don't you live in a very warm state where there would never be a need to wear this,
No,
and where there
actually,
is almost no snowboarding?
2.5 hours north of where I am is where my cabin is, and I can snowboard there.
Do you have many hats in your cabin as well?
Oh, I do. Oh my goodness, I have one that makes me look like a jester. It's very cool.
That hat actually gives me cognitive dissonance.
Okay. Good.
Lauren, what are you drinking tonight?
Liquid.
All right, it's time, folks. We're going to click it and sip it. Kongman, I don't know if you, Kongman, I don't know if you've seen us do this before, but we're going to click the like button, in theory, and we're all going to sip together, including the community. Kongman, do you have anything to drink tonight?
I don't. Nothing on me right now.
You're going to have to mime this. You're going to have to mime it hard.
Okay.
Lauren, you have a liquid, you say.
Yes,
unidentified liquid.
Well, it's partially solid, but yes.
You know what?
It's a slushy.
Oh, okay. I thought the container was the solid for a moment.
Is it a margarita?
No.
Culture. We don't ask about these things. It's actual real tiger's blood from Asia, and he is in deep, deep trouble for having it.
Okay, so it's him and the guy that was on 2.5 Men.
Probably. Culture, what are you drinking tonight in your Bucky's
Water.
cup? Is that a Bucky's cup?
Of course it is.
Okay, and I also have water.
Patriot.
You know, so not so funny story and rather boring, but I, the other day, had one of these red Solo cups, and I thought, boy, this is not up to production standards to have this. And then I realized, no, this actually looks great against all the blue. It stands out. So red Solo cups forever here on the Pro Show. All right, folks, it's time. Click it and sip it. Take a drink and click that like button. Don't do it at the exact same time. You'll get a mess on your keyboard or on your device.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. All right, no tears. We're going to take a look right now at a video that has come out that I have not yet seen. But before we go to our very first story, we're going to play this. Sylvester Stallone, Sly, has put out a tribute to Dolly Parton. I have not seen this yet. I'm very interested in what he has to say. It's fascinating to me, all the people and all the connections that are coming out regarding Dolly's passing. Here we go.
I just heard that Dolly Parton passed away, and this strikes me very hard because I felt she was a brilliant woman, so outgoing, so nice. She would come onto the set and say, "Hi, y'all," to every one of the crew members. Everyone loved her. And I don't think people realize what a brilliant mind she had. She was just incredible. I used to call her the pioneer woman that could do everything to survive, and she did. And I remember, this is a crazy story. We were down in Tennessee filming, and when we had a little time off, they took us to a horse farm, and down there they bred these Tennessee walking horses. They're high-stepping, very, very difficult horse to ride if you don't know what you're doing. So the guy goes, no problem. Get on my favorite gray stallion. So I get on, and he goes, and put Dolly on behind you. I said, is this horse used to like double-decker? I don't get it, And he goes, no problem. Now, I've ridden horses all my life, but this thing was gigantic. It's like riding a building. So I said, Dolly, you okay? Sure I am, honey. Go ahead. So I kicked the horse, and it starts moving, prancing. Then all of a sudden, I have to add this. The hoofs are this long. They're not like regular horse hoofs. It's like being on stilts, the horse. That's what gets them to do this. So it taps. Everything is doing well. It sounds beautiful. We look glamorous up there. And then the horse stubs its toe. It trips. And then we start to roll forward. And, oh, no. It's like everything's going in slow motion. And Dolly goes, are we falling? I go, we are falling. And this horse rolled all the way down. And we cascaded off of it and landed in the grass. And the horse rolled beside us. Oh my God, we would have been a couple of pancakes. But she got up laughing. He goes, let's do that again. Oh God. So being macho, I said, of course, I was just waiting for you to ask. I miss you, Dolly. I love you. Sad.
There you go, folks. There you go. The good ones are giving us good memories, and we're sad too. But we're happy because Dolly lived the kind of life that we can be inspired to try to live as well. Literacy for children, being kind to others, and perhaps the greatest celebrity of the modern era in terms of staying out of politics and just being an entertainer. That's why, maybe folks are learning something today and yesterday, which is maybe if I stay out of the messy, awful stuff of politics, and maybe if I'm like at that deeper level of something philosophical, maybe there's something to be earned and learned there. And maybe Dolly taught that to us all. Culture.
What?
You know what? You may be the safe one, actually, tonight.
Yeah. I'm trying to be safe. Yeah.
Aluminum foil. Folks, we've got a spicy one. The state of California has held hostage Paramount Skydance, would not let them buy Warner Brothers because they don't want them to have CNN. But think again if this thing's going away, because that Park Place, Marvin Montanaro is reporting, states are moving to stop Bonta, that is the Attorney General for California, his Paramount merger lawsuit, and this could go to the Supreme Court. California Attorney General Rob Bonta's effort to stop Paramount Skydance's acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery has suddenly become a fight between states, and Iowa and Montana are asking the United States Supreme Court to intervene. I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be flippant about this, but you just don't see Iowa and Montana riled up very often. It's just not. And besides that, Lauren, Iowa and Montana are not in the running to get Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Brothers when they leave, when they exit the exodus that is Hollywood. That is basically down to Tennessee and Texas. So what in the world is going on with Iowa and Montana? Well, anyway, here's what we've got. Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird and Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen filed a motion Wednesday asking the Supreme Court to halt the antitrust lawsuit being pursued by California and 11 other states against the proposed Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery merger. Now, remember that this antitrust lawsuit in California is based on federal antitrust laws, and the feds have already approved this. And so has everybody except California and then these 11 other states, which are essentially left-leaning states that just want in on the publicity. They don't have to offer anything. It's just, they're like, me too, me too, me too. That's all they're going to do. Dominic Patton for Deadline is writing it this way. Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery antitrust suit heads to Supreme Court in red state versus blue state showdown over $111 billion merger. So it's a $111 billion merger. CNN is involved. We've heard that California is going to try to force Paramount to sell cable channels like CNN. It is a giant mess. It's going to cost everybody hugely. And I think at this point, they're definitely leaving California. There's no way they're going to stay. There's two states, again, as we said before, Texas and Tennessee, that are in contention to win this thing. And whichever state gets it, $20 billion is going their way. But Culture, I'll go to you first. This is going to the Supreme Court now. And I actually think that there's a foundational reason the Supreme Court might want to hear this. Like, this is not frivolous. There's actually a very important legal theory here that needs to be tested out. What say you about it?
Well, I mean, the only standing California has here is to argue that there's a threat to the local economy or job losses or any kind of reduced competition. But the problem is that the at a federal level, it's already been considered. None of those factors exist. And again, there's this thing called the supremacy clause and a lot of other conversations around this legally. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to pretend to be one. I'm just going to say there's not a lot here. You can, get a couple of your 10 best, blue state.
You mean for California, not for the side that's okay.
Yeah. So they're the ones that brought the initial suit. And of course, Iowa, who really doesn't have a dog in the fight, as you said before, is like, you are holding up like everything in this country for a bunch of nonsense. This is a political move. And the thing is if it's actually proven that Bonta is receiving money from other parties that are
like Netflix,
well,
maybe.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that are trying to
allegedly.
undermine allegedly that are trying to undermine the deal. Yeah, I like you said, this is a conversation that needs to be had. But what's amazing is we need the federal level to weigh in here, as far as the Supreme Court to say you have no standing here, friends. You are not a party to this transaction, and it has already been decided at a couple of levels higher than you. So, it's nice to be able to run on something, but pick something different.
Yeah, the thing here, when you talk about the supremacy clause, the feds have already ruled on the federal antitrust situation. The state of California then and 11 buddies have said, well, screw you feds. We disagree about your own laws that you have jurisdiction over. We're going to give our own thought on this. And our thought on it is we want to haggle to try to force these companies to stay in California and sell off the parts that we would rather they not have any say in.
Because of the cultural stuff that they want to keep trying to influence. But I have one last thing to mention here, and it's the most important part. The only reason that this is going to be able to be successful at the Supreme Court, if it makes it there, if they decide to take the case, is because it's a federal judge that allowed for this active litigation to occur from the state's level. So I just, I want to add the right amount of context here to say this is how we got here. Now, we could get a lot of other places that won't go well for Bonta if it's shown that he's politically leveraged this situation, and that's going to be a problem. But, I'll step out and let other people comment on this and just say that no matter what, from the very beginning, I said Paramount has every right to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery, just as I think other people have mentioned that Roku was allowed to be acquired by another monster, which is why Disney was able to acquire Fox. And we can go on down a list of massive mergers that have happened over the course of my lifetime. As long as you're not removing the idea of competition, which this does not do, sorry, you don't have a case.
Well, I find this particularly fascinating, Kongman, because at the same time that we're watching the rise of authoritarianism, especially regarding the market, whether it's New York, whether it's California, it's interesting to me that California is sort of in this nosedive economically. The tech bros are trying to get out. You've got Elon, who's already moved out and taken SpaceX AI and Tesla out of there. You've got studios trying to find their way out of this. And California is now acting in such a heavy-handed way that their draconian system of forcing businesses to stay there and do their bidding is going to go all the way up to the Supreme Court. I think it really speaks to the what should we say, the bifurcation of how red and blue states operate. The blue states now, including California, mostly California, believe that they control the market, and the rest of the United States doesn't function that way.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually more of I would say like a Teddy Roosevelt kind of person. Like, I do believe in a certain degree of antitrust legislation and enforcement if huge companies are disenfranchising and hurting the American citizen. But that's not what's happening here, right? Like, they're just trying to hold on to antitrust legislation, which doesn't exist, like we mentioned already on the show, because they're scared of a legacy institution finally going in the direction of where most normal Americans are, right? You just want good entertainment, stories that have timeless themes, compelling stories. We want to be entertained. We don't want to be lectured when we go. And all of the themes that we'll learn about life, about how to live your life, it'll be all told through good stories, well-written characters. And that's how it's always been through the medium of film. But yeah, you see any of these, it pains me when you guys see the Asian American media that comes out these days, right? There's this one that I forgot the name of it, but the trailer came out this past week and everyone was ragging on it because it looks so awful. It's just disgruntled, traumatized, insecure Asian American woman kind of tossing out their insecurities out into the ether and saying, you must sympathize with me or else you're a hateful person. I mean, it's just this kind of nonsense that constantly gets people turned off to Hollywood. But we finally have a chance to kind of reinvigorate Hollywood again and to make American film great again, because truly American film, like film started in America. And then now you see the greatest entertainment and animation and cinema coming out of Korea and Japan right now. Well, it doesn't always have to be like that. It doesn't have to be that way because America was the originator of the medium of film. So we can reclaim that. But these activists and these politicians who are so beholden to their insane left-wing ideologies are preventing all of that. And it's so ironic that these left-wingers, they have no like incentive or even like a desire for some self-reflection to think, why are all normal Americans turning from us? Why are they not watching movies anymore? It's not because people have film fatigue. It's not because of streaming services, because you see good movies, people will go to the theater to watch those movies. They have no self-reflection. They have no idea why. Oh, why are all of these companies leaving our state? Why are millions of people leaving California in droves? It can't be my policies. It can't be what I'd advocate for. It's actually because you're all bigoted Americans who are just transphobic and you hate minorities. Like it's so insane. And then so they'll fight through all of these really niche and fringe legal avenues in order to keep Warner Brothers in California and to keep Warner Brothers from being acquired by Paramount, when actually they can just think, what is it that caused the failures of Warner Brothers in the first place? And why is it that so many people are leaving our state? And why is it that Hollywood is dying? And why is it that film in places like Texas and Tennessee and Atlanta, why is it growing? No self-reflection because they're so ideologically captured. But the biggest thing, I'll end with this, is that they're just scared that finally normal Americans, right-wingers, conservatives, the patriot, we finally have a voice. With Elon Musk being very pro-America and pro-Western civilization, but also is that we have people like David and Larry Ellison, who I'm not like the biggest fan of, but they are still adjacent and sympathetic towards pro-America causes. They don't hate America and want to burn it all to the ground. Finally, they have institutional power and they're acquiring institutional power. And this is, the left understands this in that these leftist activists understand that these legacy institutions control the levers of power in our culture. And now the right is coming in and normal Americans are coming in and saying, actually, yeah, we're going to do the same thing. And they're scared of that. And they're scared of CNN being acquired by the Ellisons. And they're scared of having Warner Bros. Being under Paramount Studios. So this is a great thing. I think, like we all said, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And I'm just happy to see it because I do want a resurgence of American cinema.
And CNN. CNN, Congressman, is part of this, and California's terrified of the Ellisons getting hold of CNN. Also note that the Ellisons have already put a hurt on California to some degree because when it comes to the West Coast, Oracle taken and moved already to Nashville, Tennessee. So, Lauren, I want to go to you and, kind of take a little victory lap. Because the other day we talked about this, Lauren, when the Hollywood trade said everyone wants a Paramount settlement. When Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass came out and said, we're tired of burning stuff down, we'd like to ask for a settlement as well. Lauren, we knew that this goose was cooked. But I have to say, I love what the red states have done here with Iowa and Montana, because what they figured out is it's not an 80-20 issue. It's a 90-10 issue. And it's already done. Like, this is going to happen. Hey, how about we pile on and let's take this thing to the Supreme Court and really put a hurt on them? I love this, Lauren. I love it. I love it. I love it. Should I love it so much, Lauren? Am I falling for a trap, perhaps?
I don't think so. I had some people in the chat asking whether I thought that the Supreme Court was going to bow out on this question, and I actually think they're going to take it up. And one of the reasons is because one of the strictly enumerated powers of the federal government is to regulate state commerce. And you have an issue here where California is trying to block this merger and complain about them moving Paramount to another state. I suspect that may also get them in some trouble if they try and be extra punitive for any moves that they make in that direction. So,
all right, let's ponder that for a minute, Lauren, because that's a really important point you've just made. What you're saying is separate out the entertainment and all the stuff that we typically cover. The reason the Supreme Court might be interested is in a theoretical world. Let's reverse the sides here, and let's say that either Texas or Tennessee have a company that's about to buy another company and merge, and they're going to then leave either Texas or Tennessee, and they're going to go to California. And the feds approve it, everybody's approved it, it's good to go. And then one of those states says, oh no, our attorney general says that this does not pass the muster for federal antitrust laws, even though the feds say it does. We say it, our little state says, nay, you're not going to do this. And the only way you can settle this and get out of it is if you agree to stay.
This again goes to federal supremacy, which is the point that Culture was making, is that they get to make the determination there. They also regulate interstate commerce and make sure that trade goes in a normal and regular fashion. I think that California and the other 11 states are attempting to interfere with that, and that has real-world business implications. They're trying to bleed Paramount for the ticking fee, and I believe that's really the intent here. I don't think they can stop the deal. I think they're trying to delay it as long as possible to bleed them of as much money as they possibly can. I think that Bonta is actually right in pointing out that Ellison did agree to those terms. That was a misstep on his part, but at this point, the feds have already signed off on it. So if they're delaying it, it's purely punitive. It is intended to actually hurt a corporation, screw with their business. And that's why I think the Supreme Court will have an interest here.
Yeah. And again, I mean, this is why they went about seeking a bond to cover what California was about to do. If you want to bring this case, Mr. Attorney General Douche Canoe, you have to actually, put up a bond to cover how much this is going to cost us. And Bonta's like, well, you're trying to, Lauren just brought it up. You're trying to relitigate that clause specifically because I'm an asshole. And yes, I'm sorry, I said a better word, but it's the truth.
You say this after you said douche canoe.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but I want to say something clearly to the audience out there.
No more clearlies.
Okay, no, but very clearly is that 20 to 50 of the top shows that you've seen in your lifetime in the last 50 years have been produced by Warner Brothers Television, whether it was on Warner Brothers controlled networks or on NBC or whatever.
After the Lanterns episode 2, we need to rethink all of that, but go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you loved Friends, that was Warner Brothers. If you loved, like, I can go down a list. If you loved Sheldon or Young Sheldon, that was Warner Brothers. If you loved, Big Bang Theory, that was Warner Brothers. And I can go through a list of these TV shows, and that's where they were made. That's where they were scripted. That's where they were produced. That's who controlled the lot. And then they went over to the network that actually broadcast them. And while Universal, NBC Universal like paid the bottom line, that's not where the film the TV show for Friends was made. And so you just have to go through this list, and you have to realize that's how important Warner Brothers is culturally. So as Kingman Lee was saying, the cultural influence portion of this and the takeover of these elements is actually as important as the matters of law that we just discussed. It's for like the folks that want to see culture become more westernized rather than whatever's happening now. This is a keystone moment, and the keystones are the most important parts of building, so we should probably be paying close attention.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's go into the Supreme Court. Folks, we've been right about this the whole way through. I don't mean to take a huge victory lap, but it's true. We said Paramount was going to win this. They were going to beat Netflix. We've never wavered on that. However, now for the humble pie, not even I thought we would be going to the Supreme Court with this kind of stuff. I mean, this is fascinating that here we are. We finally reached the trail's end, and it's going to end, and it's going to send a lot of studios out of California. It's crazy that they gambled Hollywood over a deal that they cannot stop. And now so many studios are going to say, stop, wait, hold on. We can't keep holding on here in the Golden State. Lauren, I enjoyed you reading those super chats so much. Usually Jonas reads the super chats on the daytime shows, but I read the nighttime. But I enjoyed that so much. Perhaps we should give you another go at it and pray that perhaps there's more Shorn Lorne chats out there for you to bring to the table.
Shorn Lorne.
Hang on a second. I need to get here. We've got Music and Fiction for 2 saying culture needs to join Men Without Hats.
I have a lot of hats. This is a Deadpool hat.
That hat today.
Yeah, I'm like, I have hats.
You brought like a bright yellow Big Bird hat the other day to my show, so I've still got this ready to go.
No. I was wearing a yellow shirt, but it did.
You were wearing a yellow shirt, very yellow.
It was yellow. Yeah, I golf. I have a yellow belt to match that and a yellow hat. See, that's the thing. If you are a golfer, it's very important to have matching wardrobe. So I have all these webbed belts that are of many different colors.
I thought you were going to say webbed feet, and I thought this conversation was going in a very different direction.
No, but Music and Fiction, I could be part of Men Without Hats. They actually had a great song, if I remember correctly.
A great song.
Speaking of a different direction, though, Lauren, we covered this lanterns thing that we mentioned briefly in the prior segment.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe we did not get in trouble for that? Of all the things we've done, I thought we were going to get in trouble for the full frontal DC thing, but YouTube has no problem with us talking about that.
Nobody cares.
Bats, I've been thinking. Dangerous, I know. But now that James Gunn is in charge, I feel like DC is all about eggplants.
We're supposed to be on lunchboxes and backpacks. But it's like we're on Game of Thrones now. Or the WNBA.
Okay, honestly, we're not as bad as them.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We try to get as much as we can out of those clips. I mean, they take a while to make. So was it a little bit extra? Was it really necessary for tonight's show?
No. Our friend Jonas calls you trying to be extra all the time.
Square peg, round hole. That's what happened right there, Culture.
It worked. You fit
I appreciate that. Culture, I really expected you to have a new hat, though. That was the whole reason for the thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been trying to find... He's gone again.
There he goes.
Chef Eddie for 5. What is the cash goal? But we must insist that Lauren be waxed by Brazilian women. I want him to have a culturally authentic experience.
Well, that means we're going to have to pay to have authentic Brazilian women, because it's not enough to have a woman who is ethnically Brazilian. Like, if we're going for full authenticity, we've got to fly women from Brazil, Brazilian women, maybe Amazonian women.
I have not agreed to do this without additional super chats in the amount of 2 Brazilians.
Lauren, hold on a second.
Oh, no.
Lauren, we're not thinking this through yet.
Yeah.
I know.
You need way more Brazilian.
I know that you will be shaved from head to toe now, and in some ways waxed. However,
no, that is not happening.
Hold on, Lauren. There are authentic Brazilian women involved in this. You need to consider.
Care. You don't know how hairy I am, sir.
I just feel like, getting a true Brazilian can be uncomfortable.
You've stolen the title of Cranky from Casino. Now you, Lauren. It's for the kids, dude. It's for charity. Come on.
Yeah. Granite Man for 2 Canadian. California can't stop companies moving, period. Duh.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a matter of biology. There's a 28-day cycle, all kinds of
That's
stuff.
not the... Are you Wilton now?
No.
Jim Butler became a YouTube member.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Don't you feel like you've spent your money wisely?
Hey, by the way, we've got a member-exclusive segment tomorrow at 2 p.m., so hop on in.
And Jim Butler, member for 4 months, which is, I guess that means that he upgraded his membership. The Palace Guard played 9 to 5 in tribute to Dolly.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
Great.
Juliet for 550 joules. Stay hydrated.
And thirsty, my friends.
And Parmes Dax, 10 joules for hiding.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people hiding.
I like that Homer meme where he goes in the bushes.
Oh,
and now you can't see me.
I did that in the real world. So that was one thing at D23 that was fun for you to do,
Yeah.
is you could fade into the grass edge. They had like AstroTurf hung up on walls with.
So you got AstroTurfed?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Lazy Titan, member for 11 months. Self-reflection requires an IQ above room temperature.
True. Introspection is difficult for people. That's for sure.
Snarky Distinct Fudge Dora for 10. Hollywood is so broke they're casting AI for the next Odyssey, and the only thing accurate is the budget. Tim Curry is gone. At least Frankenfurter isn't worried about Paramount Blue Sky Warner Brothers merger eating its scene.
Snarky, I'm just glad you got the best hat out there. There's no doubt about it. The Fudge Dora is shining tonight.
Paramount Blue Sky? What the hell is that?
What is that hat?
Skydance. I meant Skydance.
Oh, this is a Nerdrotic hat. Have you not seen a Nerdrotic hat before?
Is that supposed to be Gary?
Yeah, that's Gary. That's.
Can you lean towards the camera? We need to see this more closely.
Wait. That
looks like a Sasquatch.
I need to zoomify. Hang on.
That is not Gary. Did you buy it? Did you get a Timu Nerdrotic hat?
No,
you did get a Timu.
This is an authentic hat.
You lean forward again. Let's look. That is not. No.
It's an authentic hat.
I don't believe you.
Shift detailing coding for $4.99. Can CNN prevent Scott Jennings from becoming the press secretary if it were to happen?
No.
No, he is chained to that desk. He cannot take any other job ever. They own that man.
This is the easiest one we've gotten from John Maynor. Thank you, John Maynor.
WDW Pro Fan for 10 saying June 4th contractual drop dead day is a serious problem for Paramount.
Yes.
It's not hard to drag this to June 4th, especially if this judge plays ball with the states and unions.
Yes.
Even appeals can pause this.
Yep. And the reason, by the way, we can all be very critical of Paramount for this deal and having this poison pill in the deal. The problem is Paramount was having to go to extraordinary lengths to try to defeat Netflix because Netflix had the backing of the unions and trades, et cetera, because of the politics of this. So Paramount had to go above and beyond what is even normal, but they, I'm sure, probably had under the table in the back room where the sausage is made agreements with the federal government that we can get this through. And so they felt confident. A state trying to usurp the feds on federal antitrust law is a novel concept, and California knows it will lose. He changed his hat again. California knows it will lose, but California also knows that in losing, they can gum up the works and possibly, maybe, cause this to fall apart, and then Warner Brothers, which would become a bargain bin stock, could be picked up by Netflix.
And this is why Paramount went out of their way to push this immediately to court. They were like, you know what? Gloves off. We're going straight to court. You're going to have to do something with this. And now with other states weighing in, taking it to the Supreme Court of the land, the Supreme Court, if they elect to weigh in on this and, pull, corporate malfeasance out of the fire, which is what a lot of this is, and of course, as Lauren pointed out, this is a restraint of trade issue at this point, at a state level, which has never happened before. Unprecedented. Thank you, Bonta. You are about to see magic because the Supreme Court can say, hey, states, I can't say what I would normally say here. There's no eloquence to what I'm going to say next because I can't say the foul version of it.
How about get bent? Does that work?
Get bent does work. Yes. Thank you for the English phraseology. I appreciate it.
We've turned into Futurama around here.
Yeah, true story.
Irate specialist for 5. Lauren, this is for charity. Maybe.
No. You know what? That's enough. We're being mean to Lauren.
Know what? Has Lauren met charity yet?
No. Listen, we're being mean to Lauren. We're going to skip that one. We'll bring it back when Lauren is ready for it. Okay, Lauren, I'm going to give you a break from these. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. So go ahead, read these.
Kaleo for 2. Lauren, never pass on Brazilian women worshiping you. Let me be clear.
Whoa, it doesn't say worshiping. It doesn't say worshiping. What are you talking about, man?
Work shipping?
Well, yes.
Work shaving? I mean, worshiping is a new level for you. I mean, if the Brazilian women are going to worship you, I don't know that you're getting what you want out of that.
How do you know that's a new level for me?
Work shipping.
I guess I had expectations, and you, sir, have exceeded them.
Well, one can only hope. J7 for 2. Dang, I'll be at work for tomorrow's event.
Okay.
Well, we do apologize for that. We try to make it so that sometimes we do the daytime shows. Sometimes we do the evening shows. We try to rotate a little bit. We try to rotate. But we can't make everybody happy all the time. We try, though. We try. Somebody who does make people happy all the time is Congman Lee. Congman, will you tell the folks out there about your channel, what you do, and where they can find you, as well as your astounding following on the social medias?
Yeah, so you can find me, Congman Lee on X and Congman J Lee on all other platforms. I talk about culture, theology, politics, whatever, everything going on and all the intersection between all of that. I hate that word intersection because of intersectionality, but it is the intersection of all that. And yeah, I'm like gaming a lot more these days. So if you want to follow my gaming channel, it's just Congman Lee Plays. But yeah, I've been actually taking a little bit of a break the past 2 weeks from creating content because of the just abject evil I've seen proliferating all throughout the internet. And it has been I am a very hopeful person. I believe hope is a virtue. I believe that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always something to look forward to. There's grace and there's blessings that God is always pouring out in each and every one of our lives. But it's just the vast swath of people.
No, wait a minute. I'm interested in this, Congman, because you are no soft-skinned guy.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? A proliferation of evil that you've seen. Where is this coming from? Where is the extra evil that you're running across?
Well, we'll probably be talking about this in our next segment, talking about Dolly Parton, but it's just the amount of women, and we love women. I love women very deeply, but just the amount of women who have been defending, identifying with, and celebrating Lindsay Clancy.
Yes, okay.
Strangled her 3 babies to death. That's that's a level of evil that I can't even describe.
So I had to take a break too.
Yeah,
so I saw the transcript of the husband when he found the kids, and I had to stop.
It's horrifying.
I had to stop because then I have to think about, like, obviously, what would you do if that happened to you? And you, Lauren, we're trying to have
we're having a serious conversation, and it just comes with a hat. It was like a beret.
Anywho, Congman, I had to take a break from it as well. So I'm from that particular topic. Now I'm still involved on social media. I'm still engaged, but I had to say, and honestly, the same thing with the national tragedy. It's a different situation, right? Because malevolence affects us differently than random acts of nature.
Yeah.
So the deal with the tragedy over in China and the border of Nepal.
Oh, that was horrifying.
I saw that video and said I never need to see that again. But the malevolence you're talking about, and the women who are engaged in defending the malevolence, I'm fully with you. I'm out of that. I hope that justice is served, but it's too awful for me to participate in on a daily basis.
And then on top of that, it's like Dolly Parton, she passed away, rest her soul and rest in peace. And it's a moment for all of us to remember her legacy. And like you talked about in Dollywood, she brought so much hope and light to people. But people used that, and there were millions of people who used that and said, wow, Trump next. Oh. Well, all men next. Let's kill all men next. And I'm not even joking when I say, I'm not exaggerating. These tweets and these posts online have had hundreds of thousands of likes. And it's like, where do you even go from there? Like, how do you even talk to these people? Like, these people are like just gravely evil.
The good news is, at least we know who they are now. We know where the pathologies and the demons lie.
Yeah, but you stare at that, like, and you stare into the abyss for a while. You're just like, it does something to your soul. You're like, dang, like, that's not good, man. Like, this, again, I'm not soft skin. I'm always engaging in the war, but I look at that, I'm like, wow, that actually, I grieve, because that's just a level of depravity and evil that I can't even conceptualize. I don't even have a frame of mind for that. Like, that's so insane.
You got to remember too that the human mind is not made to handle this. I mean, if you go back 500 years, you might come across one of these things in a lifetime. And instead, because of social media, because the world is now smaller, all of the tragedies, of course, well, that's the news. And so then those get pumped into our feeds now. A camera is everywhere, which means we see things. I saw something online a few months ago, and I thought I never want to see that again. And I am not pleased that I didn't have a choice, that I was shown that. So I'm also displeased about this. Lorne, speaking of the abyss, where, why, how the hat?
It's on my head. It is to cover my head, and now.
Was your head cold, and why is Culture gone again? What is happening to my show?
Another hat.
I'm certain that's what he's doing. He's getting another hat.
I'm calling it. It's the Geeks and Gamers hat.
Oh boy! All right, folks. I'm sorry about this. We're gonna try to stop this. We got serious topics, including Dolly Parton, to talk about. So let's do a commercial break and try to break up whatever's happening between Lorne and Culture. No, we're not playing Jonas is Back. Oh, gotcha!
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Please, Lorne. It's for the children. Please, Lorne. It's for the children. Please, Lorne. It's for the children.
Lorne, it's for the children.
No.
Just a no.
All right. We're going to pause here and just wait. You both have to return to normal size hats for this Dolly Parton segment. We cannot do a Dolly Parton being co-opted by corrupt politicians segment with you guys in silly, frivolous hats. Culture, are you there?
I really wish I had a giant sombrero, but I don't.
That's cultural appropriation.
Lorne, read us the rest of these super chats, please.
Did we get some new ones in?
Just this one and the other one.
Please, Lorne. It's for the children. Please, Lorne. It's for the children. Please, Lorne. It's for the children.
Look at their little faces.
Do I still need to read it?
Yeah, holy diversity fest, Batman.
There's a little ginger kid in the background.
What?
Culture, what's on your hat? Is that Avatar?
No, this is the boss's hat. You can actually get the boss's hat. All
right, bring it in. Zoom in. Zoom in. We got to see it. Come on.
This is, and if anybody knows the boss and has met her in person, this is her hat.
Keep zooming.
There you go.
That actually looks like the boss.
It is.
It's the boss in the style of Bewitched.
Yeah, and she is, it's the boss. So yeah, you can get a boss's hat. I actually bring them with me to events. So if you show up at an event, you can get this hat. So
now, Lorne, Culture can wear the boss's hat. Your hat is not going to work for the Dolly Parton segment, but if you'll read the other super chats.
We got J7 for 2 saying, no worries, I'll be lurking. And we got Snarky Distinct Fudgedora for $5 saying WDW Pro's accuracy is 92%, so the joke he still gets paid to guess. The remaining 8% is why the channel exists.
90. What was the exact total, Lorne? Was it 90, 92.5, 93 point something? I don't remember now.
I thought it was 93, but I don't remember it.
Come on, Snarky. Don't you take that percent away from me, from scoops and rumors and sources that we have. We got a solid track record around here. 93, 92. What are you trying to do to us? And then Joppy for 50 crowns. Is the member panel still on for tomorrow?
Ooh.
Why, it is. That's right. 2 p.m. Eastern. Joppy, will see you then. Lorne, toss the hat away. It's time for a very important topic. Talking about corrupt politicians co-opting the death of Dolly Parton. You know, it's a very sad thing indeed that Dolly Parton has passed away at the age of 80, and it seems to be an unexpected thing. They talk about her having passed after a brief battle with cancer. We're going to miss Dolly for sure, and it seems like society is as well. Unfortunately, corrupt politicians and ideologues are taking the very first day that Dolly is not with us to make Dolly say things that she never wanted to say, and that is disgusting. However, we'll start on the positive side here. Variety says that Dolly Parton's music streams have increased over 1,260% globally and 2,300% in the U.S. on Spotify. Additionally, 7 songs entered Spotify's Daily Top Songs USA chart, with Jolene and 9 to 5 debuting at numbers 2 and 3. We've also got this from Visit Sevierville, her hometown in East Tennessee. You can see all of the wonderful flowers and balloons and all of that they put out there around her statue that she has at the town square. That is very, very nice and indicative of a life well lived. I will say that I was at Dollywood on the very first day, of course, that they were open after Dolly's passing, and it was wonderful how they handled this. It was still sort of a jovial atmosphere of celebrating a life well lived. Dolly Parton, the background music had all been changed, and she was singing about going to heaven, which is really something that you go to a park and the person who's passed away is helping the folks at the park grieve and be joyful in a otherwise somber moment. But not all is wonderful out there. J.K. Rowling had tried just to be nice and talk about how amazing Dolly Parton was, and instead she got this from Diner. Says, you and Dolly have nothing to agree upon, you blanking monster. Well, that's not very nice.
Or true.
J.K. Rowling then responds without going after the guy. Is actually tries to make a joke out of it and says, well, joke's on you because neither of us want Jolene to take our man. Which is, again, clever. So J.K. Rowling doing her best to be kind about this. This is making the news out there. We've got Britain's news channel. J.K. Rowling furiously hits back as internet troll criticizes Dolly Parton legacy over supposed Trump support. And that's where this is all breaking down. Let me show you some more here. Doctor, they call him, Abdul El Sayed. Politician running, I believe, in Michigan. Is that right, Culture? Michigan for El Sayed. Linked with some folks out there who are unsavory, but is running for Congress.
Yeah.
Dr. Abdul El Sayed, who has been accused in the past of being communist, says Dolly Parton used her gift for music to highlight the challenges of poverty, inequality, and struggle in ways that uplifted and inspired working people. Well, that's sort of the language of Stalin, I would say. That's not how Dolly would put it, right?
Yeah, that's very democratic socialist of him.
Mayor Mamdani says this is truly heartbreaking. Dolly Parton was an extraordinary person and an irreplaceable champion of the working class. We are a better country. Dolly Parton, listen, was enormously wealthy and earned her way there and wanted other people to earn their way into wealth and never turned this into like a socioeconomic thing. She wanted people of every wealth level to love her music and to love her and be kind to one another. And not every politician is doing this. I have to say, sometimes we're critical of President Trump. We've done that in the past. When one of the Reiners decided to delete his father many, many months ago, terrible. President Trump came out with a statement, and we said, you know what? It's not the right thing to say. It's not the right moment to say it. So we're sometimes critical, but President Trump, the way that he handled Dolly Parton's passing, didn't say a single thing political, just said, we're lowering the flags to half-staff, and she's an amazing woman. Yeah. The Clintons, whatever you think about the Clintons, came out, didn't say a single political thing about Dolly Parton, just were kind about her. Same thing for President Obama, but there's a new class of people out there who they're making this be all about them. And I want to show you how Dolly handled this. We're going to go to ABC. They may ding us for this. Disney always, they own ABC, and they don't like us very much, but we're going to play it anyway. I want you to see what Dolly said and how she handled it when people tried to force her into political partisan situations.
I just don't get into that, and so if you are deciding you may want to ask me something more serious, don't, because I'm not going to answer it.
We have a president of the United States who said those things on that bus.
I'm not addressing that. I do not get into that. Of course, I have my opinion about everybody and everything, but I learned a long time ago, keep your damn mouth shut if you want to stay in show business. I'm not in politics. I'm an entertainer.
And yet, you're also a role model.
Yes, I am. That's why I don't talk about people. I just don't get.
There you go.
How refreshing. Like, how refreshing. Everyone needs to take notes like Mark Ruffalo and all of his lot.
Well.
So Congman, let me go to you on this. So you've got these DSA folks who are essentially communists. They may say they're socialists. They may argue otherwise. It's not really. But Congman, the very first day that Dolly can't say anything anymore because she's gone on from this world, they begin telling you what Dolly was all about.
Yeah.
Dolly wasn't about this.
It's really despicable because it's like, yes, like Dolly did care for the working class. I mean, think about Imagination Library and just the amount of philanthropy work that she's done. Like, she's like the classical aristocrat, right? Where a good noble aristocrat in the past would use their wealth to build libraries, build schools, and leave behind that kind of legacy to help those in need. And you think about today's billionaires and technocrats and plutocrats, what do they do with all their money? Well, they just buy out Martha's Vineyard, or they buy a nice property for themselves. They don't actually help the working people. So yes, that's true. She does help the average everyday American. But then these democratic socialist types, these communists, they say, look, Dolly helped people. Therefore, she agreed with us in that we believe in the public's in the government seizing all the means of production, or else you hate Dolly. Like, that's the Mott and Bailey that they always do. And on top of that, like, people like Abdul El Said, I mean, these are people who are enemies to America, but also this is a guy who killed 4,500 dogs and cats and euthanized them. And it's like, for me, one of the biggest litmus tests I have for anyone's character is, how do you treat dogs? Because I feel like the way that you treat man's best friend is it's very indicative of how you view people and what your character is like. In the same way Hassan Piker shocks his dog to force Kaya into the corner for a stream every stream. Yeah, Abdul Al Said ruthlessly just murdered over 4,000 dogs. And these people are completely and wholly incompatible with our way of life in Western civilization. So all that being said, it's not a surprise that these people are using the tragic death and the passing of an American icon, an absolute American legend who stands for everything that's so good about America: charity, generosity, patriotism, love, Christianity. I mean, her Christian love. She represents everything good about America. She came from Appalachia, right? She helps the Appalachian people. It's like they take that and they're saying, hey, look, she would have agreed with us as communists. Therefore, if you are sympathetic to Dolly Parton and if you were a fan, then you should come along with the ride with us to subvert America. And I find that to be really despicable. Like, all you could have said is, yes, rest in peace, she was an amazing person. And that's why, like, you guys mentioned this, that even Obama and the Clintons didn't do this, but there's a new class of very, very militant communists that are taking over the Democratic Party, which is very concerning. Very, very concerning.
Her philanthropy, to add to what you're saying, was very much, taking care of your fellow American, taking care of your fellow countrymen. And when tragedy struck, her philanthropy was 1,000% behind those who were suffering that tragedy. You mentioned specifically, in her region, she had the most amount of effect because after, what was it, Hurricane Helena or whatever it was, I mean, she directed her efforts directly at that tragedy, specifically at Tennessee. She wasn't focused on, some communist bunch of garbage. She was focused on a community and people that were the most affected. And usually that is the people that have the greatest need, beyond the everyday. And so you're 100% right. And for those people to put words in her mouth or to interpret what she's doing, it is despicable. And I wish we had something stronger we could say.
Sorry.
Just this point, Kongman, they waited. It was the first day that she could no longer say what she really believes because she's gone. They couldn't wait 2 days. They couldn't wait 3. First day.
And it's on top of that, the Zoran Mamdani, the Abdul El Said types are the same people who constantly berate the Americans in Appalachia, that they're racist, they're transphobic, they're homophobic, like they're just scum, like white trash. That's what they literally call them. And then for them to say, oh, Dolly Parton, we love Dolly Parton. It's like, give me a break. Like, no, you don't. You're just using an American icon to subvert everything that is so great about American culture. And it really pains me to see just the amount, and I mentioned this earlier on the stream, just how many people used her death to say, Trump next. Why not Trump? Oh God, why couldn't it have been Trump? And then they're saying this not only about Trump, but about conservatives, because, you know, the
dreams, that's the dreams of the demonic, right? I mean, that's the meanderings of the macabre, because they wish for death. They don't wish for philosophical victory. They don't believe in trying to outwit their opponent. They don't believe in trying to win over the hearts and minds. They want the hearts and minds to cease and go cold and be buried 6 feet under. That's what they wish for. They are despots in waiting. They are narcissists of the night who are waiting for a dawn, and they can be the usherers in of a new utopia that they'll always win in their mind, but in reality, they might be the first to go.
Yeah, and that's really well said, and that's why it makes it really concerning, because these people are the biggest fans of people like Zoran Mamdani, which is very, very concerning. This is not just about economic policy, which is important. It's about the very heart and soul of this nation and where we're headed as a people. And we're headed towards a very, very dark direction, which really concerns me. It really does concern me.
Absolutely. Lauren, let's bring it full circle. We talked about the J.K. Rowling aspect of this. Let's bring it back to that for a minute, because the way this works is, this is the original tweet that J.K. Rowling had put out. She said, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library was the best contribution to child literacy ever made by a celebrity. Our paths crossed once in the 90s, backstage at a talk show, and I was completely tongue-tied and starstruck. R.I.P. Dolly, you were a complete, irreplaceable one-off. And the tweets that we posted before and showed you where the people are saying, you know, blank you and all this kind of stuff. Lauren, what that speaks to is the idea that you're not allowed to be kind if you're on the other side from these, frankly, ghouls, right? You're not allowed to speak well-wishing words because they wish that you were removed from Earth. And therefore, they will strike you. They will show the venom that they have. They will strike you as hard as they can verbally, and maybe beyond, if given just one moment, if you dare show even empathy for another human being.
Yeah, but in the spirit of Dolly, this is one day when I don't want to bash anybody. Okay. And I think the remarkable thing about Dolly is that, and I agree with J.K. Rowling, actually, I think that her Imagination Library is the thing that I am most impressed by her, as her greatest legacy. The thing that's fascinating about Dolly is that you don't know her politics. She didn't talk about it. She was kind and gracious to absolutely everybody. She lived out what her own philosophy was, and her answer on that interview was probably the best answer that you could possibly give. She was a smart cookie. She was intelligent, she was wise, and she was kind. Nobody that I know of has found any fault in anything that she did. In many ways, she was a contradiction in some ways. She acted in ways that maybe you might not expect in some aspects, but it was always with kindness. And that's something to be truly admired. That's something that both sides of the political aisle need to remember. We don't have to be enemies. And even if we are on different ideological sides, that doesn't prevent us from being kind to one another. And I think that's why she has the respect and the admiration of everybody who knew her, not just here in the USA, by the way, across the world. This woman is known for all of the various good things that she did. And that's a rare thing and should be celebrated.
And I think the most important thing was something that I think Pro said earlier in the day in a previous show. This is one of the people who was universally loved, and it didn't matter on what political side of the aisle you found yourself. And I think that there are very few of those people in the world right now. And I think that's important.
Yeah. And one of the fascinating things, and maybe this is where we go for the conversation. One of the fascinating things is that she is perhaps the last major celebrity that I know of in American society who stayed completely out of politics and is universally beloved for it. So there have been people talking about, you know, the Mount Rushmore of celebrities that are just totally beloved. And so Mr. Rogers, right? Steve Irwin, Dolly Parton, and then you can debate the fourth. Some people have said Bob Ross. I might say Culture Casino, but you know, the thing here is, you know, I watched somebody try to pin Dolly Parton down on politics earlier.
No.
In a video. And she had one of the best responses, because they want to know, are you a Democrat or Republican? You know, what are your politics? And this was from years and years ago, before things got so heated. And her response was charming, and it was folksy, and, you know, I'm sure it was prepared. But she said, my daddy was a Republican, my mama was a Democrat, and I'm just a hypocrite. And I thought, that is so, you know, it's so self-deprecating, and yet at the same time, such a wonderfully fun way to respond to that. Kongman, or go ahead, Lauren.
There's one more thing that actually triggered in me when you were saying that, is that, let's say for the sake of argument, everybody knows that I make no bones about being a conservative. Let's say she was a hardcore liberal. I wouldn't care. Because she didn't try to beat me over the head with it. She stayed out of it. She was kind and loving. It wouldn't matter to me. And I wish that more people acted in that way. This doesn't have to be a performative sport. We can all have our private opinions and hold our own beliefs and vote our conscience without broadcasting it everywhere. And that's what she did, and it was a really smart and kind thing to do.
You know, it's a fascinating world we live in, Cogman, where, you know, on this channel, we advocate for entertainment to kind of get out of politics in the same way that she is. And we do that because, you know, I was convinced years ago, listening to Mark Kern, who goes by the name Grums online, but he's the project lead for World of Warcraft, and he made so many video games that we love. And he has this argument that you need zones of neutrality in society. So like sports would be one of those, entertainment is one of those, but the idea that we can set the politics aside for a moment, and like, you're a Packers fan, or you're a Bulls fan, or maybe you're a Dolly fan. But the idea is, the comparison he uses is the watering hole in the savannah. And he says, you know, that there are these animals that they're predator, they're prey, et cetera, but at the watering hole, the water is so important that they recognize, I think I said Savannah Serengeti, the water is such a necessity that they set aside that hierarchy so that they can drink water, except for the freaking crocodiles, because they're just jerks in the animal kingdom. But other than that, and I'm convinced by that, Kongman. And so I think Dolly was actually doing something that is so vitally necessary, and that is she sacrificed her own public opinion for the greater good, which is we need a cohesive glue. And now that is seen by the rise of the commies, the wokesters, that is seen as offensive to them, and they think that's a far-right position to say, stop it. We can go to the movies together.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like what we see with the political and cultural dynamic right now, where people on the right, there's so many people on the right who are liberal. And when we say liberal now, it just means those who are super far left, who are the types who use Dolly Parton's tragedy to advance their agenda. And that's why it's like, when you think about even these spaces of neutrality, I agree, because we can't be constantly 24/7 harping on politics all day. Like, I don't. In my day-to-day life, I'm not always talking about politics. I'm talking about sports. I enjoy sports. I play games. I watch anime. I watch Korean dramas. I watch movies. I geek out on things. I geek out on tech. I mean, there's all these things that aren't necessarily political in nature, but for us to even have those kind of spaces, there has to be an enforcement arm that allows for the protection of those spaces. And I think the great lie of the modern era is that if we allow for broad tolerance of every single ideology, every single viewpoint, and we have this broad pluralistic society where there are no guardrails or no standards or no limits, then we can still have that. But the reality is we can't, because we can't unify over things that are different. We unify over shared interests, shared values, shared heritage, shared culture. And then so there are limits even to our differences. And every society has differences. And in those differences, we can sharpen each other, we can get better, we can get smarter. But ultimately, there are limits to those differences. And if those differences are so far apart, where you have a faction of the country that does want to burn everything to the ground and wants to kill you for your opinions, it's kind of hard to have those spaces of neutrality. So I agree, too, because I very much enjoy talking to people who disagree with me, because it sharpens what I think, and it also challenges what I have to say and all my preconceived notions. But there is a limit to how much we can differ and live together.
And you're 100% right, because the centralized area that we've had as a society for a long period of time, hundreds of years, has been sport, which is why the Olympics came to be, right? We could come together, multiple different cultures that definitely didn't align with each other, and yet the sporting teams would go to somewhat of a neutral territory and have a neutral experience. The problem is that nobody defends the neutral space anymore.
Yeah.
And that and there's no better example of that than the PMS WNBA. And the problem is they don't know what the W stands for anymore. And that's a problem.
Which is a very basic thing to understand, but and we understood it 5 minutes ago. We're just pretending we don't for a little bit. Carmen, I want to come back though and ask about that, because it seems to me that here on this show and in my daily life, I recognize that we need classical conservatives. I think we need classical liberals, because I actually think it's tied into your personality traits to some degree, like your psychological traits. And so I kind of envision it this way. I envision that conservatives are likely associated with the people who have a strong affinity for protecting the traditions that they know work. And so I think that's important. And I think classical liberals, I think that they have a strong desire to fix that which is broken, which is probably highly associated with the trait of empathy, right, or conscientiousness. And then the centrists, to me, they kind of exist as these people who they wait for the election to happen, and as it's about to happen, they check and see, well, what's this going to do to my wallet? Okay. The problem is, Kongman, that's traditionally in America, that's the way society has been constituted. Now, there's another part of this that has been brought in, imported from the rest of the world, and that is the communist woke ideology, which is postmodern neo-Marxism. Marvin would ding the bell on me if I said it right now, and if he was here, but I don't view that as classical liberalism. I don't view it as liberalism. I view this as authoritarianism. I view this as a desire to warp the fabric of reality for narrative power and control, right? My truth is an affront to the idea that there is the truth. And so that's what I think is happening right now, is whereas we could all get along to some degree and set it aside, when you say that has limits, right? To me, that's the limit.
Yeah.
Because once you say, like, these people have put fundamentalist Christians and atheists together because at least those groups agree that there is a truth, like objective reality. And like, these postmodern neo-Marxists don't believe in that.
I literally did not even think I would ever get to a place where I agree with Richard Dawkins, because he devoted his entire life to disproving Christianity. And as a Christian, I was like, okay, there's nothing I would share in common with him. Now I find myself agreeing with him on a lot of issues because he sees what's going on in the West and he's like, wait, I don't like this. This is really crazy. And for me, I actually do have a broad tolerance for people and ideas and beliefs, but my line will always be children. Like the protection
of the innocence
of children. Like that is always my line. So when you have a death cult that is gung-ho about killing and defending the murder of children in and out of the womb, that's where I'm like, okay, you lost me. There's literally nothing that we share in common, because how can I share anything in common with someone who wants me dead for my beliefs and also doesn't care if they kill their own children?
Well,
that's so crazy to
me. That is one of the casualties of my truth, is that once you have my truth, you can deny the dignity of others. You can deny the human, the importance of the human soul. You can deny that there is a soul whatsoever.
And it gave us this rise of political violence that we had not experienced in this country in a long time. Outside of the 1970s radical movement that, gave us Hanoi Jane and all of her crazy ideas, and of course the beginning of this, the destruction of media and journalism because of Walter Cronkite and the stuff he subverted behind the scenes that we didn't learn until decades later. I'll just say that we've seen the very slow march of destruction as was foretold by others, and we should have been paying attention. We, as a nation and as a culture, we should be recognizing the shortcomings, that we've had recently and start to remedy them. And I think that that's the only path forward.
It really is. And that's why for me, I don't really call myself a conservative as much because I don't want to conserve the status quo that has destroyed and literally leveled everything that we love about this country. It's like there is a need for something new, whether that's rediscovering what our forebears have discovered and understood and enforced, or whether that's coming up with new solutions. Like there has to be a new way forward. And I do think that's why a lot of people, it's really good. People like Elon Musk are kind of hopping on the train to save civilization because we need minds like that.
Yeah. Well, it's just as simple as Elon thinks humans should continue to be in charge of the world. And so who'd have thought? And that truth actually exists. It's a crazy, crazy thing. Yeah. Guys, to bring this back to Dolly, Lauren, I'll give you the final word on this. Dolly did a wonderful job of treating people as if they matter. And it turns out that if you treat people as if they matter, people will love you ever more for doing so. And I'm kind of a pragmatist on this, Lauren. And so if that works, I kind of think maybe it's true that people really do matter.
Well, sure. I would never argue against that point. But I don't know where you want me to go with that. But
if you took the contrarian point right there, we were going to have discussions about the future.
I'm just going to push back on that, Pro.
Now you sound like me. No. I mean, we definitely need robots. In the future.
Well, we do need robots to do the laundry. Go ahead, Lauren.
I think the way to look at it is that there is a separation from your beliefs and your person. Your person always has dignity. Your beliefs don't necessarily deserve respect, but you as the person holding them does. So however you choose to vote, however you feel about whatever is going on, you're entitled to those beliefs. You're not entitled to use them as a bludgeon against others in society. That's the point that I would be making.
Well said, Lauren. Folks, we've got box office projections coming in for Coyote versus Acme, and Cosmic Book News has this for us. Matt McGloin is writing over here. It seems for the moment the lawyers at DC have left him alone. Shame on you, James Gunn. Says Coyote versus Acme projected for a $15 million domestic opening with interest still stuck. Oh no, oy vey, they say. Coyote versus Acme is now projected to open to around $15 million this weekend per deadline, and the number has been climbing. Oh, well, that's good. Climbing a month. Okay, way to go. 3 weeks ago, the forecast had the movie opening somewhere between $3 million and $8 million, which would have been terrible. That would have been catastrophic. Deadline reports the movie has taken in now $400,000 from sneak previews, that advance ticket sales are solid, and that Ketchup Entertainment release has heat behind it, with one caveat. The trade says it doesn't yet know whether that's a false positive, because the support on social media may be concentrated in New York and LA rather than the spread across the rest of the country, which I tend to think is probably not the case. Yeah. Global box office now has it at $16 to $22 million and notes that anywhere in that range would be the biggest opening in Ketchup's history.
Yeah.
Take that, mustard. Culture, explain to us, please, what is Ketchup? Why is this not being released by Warner Brothers? Help us out, and then we'll talk about the break-even. Go ahead.
Okay, Warner Brothers spent $70 million on this movie. Ketchup bought it for $50 million, so they have a $20 million overall.
Why didn't Warner Brothers release it? Why they made it for $70 million? Why didn't they release it? Culture,
because they thought this was headed for the Batgirl treatment.
So they tossed it. They tossed it. They put it in the bin. It was done. The baler. It was over. And then this company, or fans were furious. Yeah. This company called Ketchup bought it.
Yep.
Okay. But you say this was a tax write-off until Ketchup came in.
Yeah, and they look. I'm going to tell you that they took a $20 million hit over at Warner Brothers, which they're going to write down. But 70.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if they spent 70, and another company bought it for 50, do we combine those two together to get the break even, so just the 50 then?
Yeah, no, that's all you have to worry about, because the distributor and owner of the production of this film, as far as Ketchup's concerned, is $50 million.
And then Warner Brothers took a $20 million write-off.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it's only 103 minutes long. It's short. It's not a long film. It has a wide distribution, which is rare, especially for Ketchup, who I think the most recent film anybody could point to that they did was a Hellboy reboot, which I thought was a tragedy. But look, the tracking 3 weeks ago, as was reported in this article, was somewhere between $7 and $10 million.
Abysmal.
Yeah, but here we're at sitting around 16 to 22 million, as was reported in the article you read. I'm looking at it as $16 million, which I would consider a win because of what I think the legs are going to be on this. First of all, as far as the brand goes, Looney Tunes, believe it or not, is hitting higher marks than other new properties entering the market, which would include Dog Stars, which is loaded with actual talent.
Come again.
I mean, you have Elordi, Brolin, and Scott entering the field with Dog Stars, which nobody's heard of, which is a problem. So, when I look at box office, I weight who's in it, who's the director, what the material is, who the audience is, because I try to make all those decisions so I can make an educated guess at what something's going to do. Filmmaker versus cast. I mean, you have a better choice in Dog Stars as far as that's weighted, but when you get to reception to the trailer, you had 25 million people viewing the Looney Tunes Coyote versus Acme film. You had 25 million people viewing that in the first 24 hours. It's got clean jokes. It's a family film, PG actually, versus an R with Dog Stars. Runtime is right in the right window for a family audience, and you have no competition in family right now because nobody's going to go see Toy Story again. Nobody's going to see Moana, and people are going to sleep right now.
We're losing Lauren. Lauren, are you okay?
I am good.
Okay.
Well, the whole point is, as I get to the end of all of it, I'm just going to say that when you look at the overall ratings for Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, all of that, this film looks like it's going to do better as a slow burn than something that's definitely going to fail in Dog Stars, which they spent more money on and more time on, and they actually have advertised more. So I think this is going to do well. I think Cartoon Brew is one of the reasons amongst many other websites that are like that. So I think honestly, I think this film is going to do better than most people would.
I gathered you might. Let me read this paragraph here. It says from Cartoon Brew. It says, according to a new feature published by The Hollywood Reporter, the live-action animated hybrid, which critics are almost unanimously praising as the best of its kind since Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Cost the studio $70 million to produce. Okay, but they sold it for $50, so they take it says $30 million write-off. I don't know how that math works, but okay. Selling it to Ketchup Entertainment for $50 million. 70. Maybe they had some marketing already built into it. However it is, it's a $30 million write-off. Sold it to Ketchup Entertainment for $50 million. Okay, so now let's add that together, folks. If it's $50 million and we're going to do a bare minimum market spend from Ketchup, we're going to say it's $20 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so that gets us to 70.
Yeah.
So it's got a break even of about 150, maybe 140, but easy numbers, 150 is break even. So Culture, if it opens to 16 or 18, it needs to 1-to-1 this internationally, or else it still is not going to be a break even.
Yeah, no, I think, and that's where I'm going to step out on a limb and say this might 1-to-1 it, and that's not uncommon. We've been seeing that a lot in the box office. If it's not something that's a massive tentpole, this is certainly not that. But I think it'll 1-to-1 it, and I think this will be a surprise, especially in week 2, because now that you step back and you analyze the box office from where week 2 puts you, it gives you a better idea of where things will ultimately finish out. Look, nothing's going to displace Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's still going to be first place. But second place arguably could be Acme versus Coyote versus Acme.
I think it's going to be. Spider-Man is probably going to top 20. I know I know they're saying it's not, but they lose every time on this. It's probably going to top 20.
Yeah.
But I think based on what we're seeing, Coyote versus Acme has a shot at 20. So, Congressman, let me ask you about this. Warner Brothers pretended this movie was bad to shelve it. And there's some weird stuff going on at Warner Brothers. California doesn't want Paramount to buy Warner Brothers because they might run it well. But, Congressman, when they said in some of the articles coming out that it was the best live action mix with cartoons since Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I kind of laughed and I mocked that. I thought there's no way. And now, I know I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes, but I would imagine Rotten Tomatoes critics are not inclined to support a film like this. Like they would be inclined to go the other way. And yet it's got a 95. So I'm sitting here saying, oh my gosh, maybe this is a film that the fans saved. And maybe this is the right call. Maybe this is a pretty cool movie we're about to see. A shocker.
And it might be, like Culture said, a slow burn. I think they're going to have to really rely on word of mouth. One movie I always look back to for word of mouth is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh, yeah.
Because when that came out, it was competing with Avatar, the second Avatar, and it didn't do well. The first 3 weekends, it didn't break even at all. And then it was just word of mouth. People said, this movie's incredible. I was like, okay, well, I'll go watch it. I'm going on a date and I need something to watch. I watched it. I cried. It was an incredible film. And so it was a slow burn, but word of mouth really carried it through, even competing with big Hollywood blockbuster films. And I think this film, I'm not sure if it'll do well, but if it is a good movie, a good family-friendly movie, and of course Looney Tunes already has that name recognition, and Coyote also has, people know Coyote, and they've known him for a really long time. It could do well, but we'll have to see. Rotten Tomatoes, they're just shills, so we don't know like if their reviews are genuine or if they're being paid out. But right now, because like you said, Ketchup Entertainment bought the rights and they're distributing it, so it's like I don't think Warner Brothers is also paying the Rotten Tomatoes.
What's amazing is
at all, and the critics at all. So I do think that it has the potential to do well if it generates enough buzz on social media and has strong enough. It delivers a good performance basically at the box office, where the actors are good, the writing is good, the execution of the overall film is good, and then people will go watch it. They'll tell their family and their friends about it, and then buzz will surround it. People will make hype edits on TikTok and all the rest. But if it's not a good film, then it'll just bomb.
There's something warped going on at Warner Brothers where they're greenlighting Supergirl and they're trying to destroy this film, which people are comparing to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a very strange thing. Lauren, should he catch the Roadrunner again one more time?
Well, I don't think he's going to catch the Roadrunner. If you're asking me whether he should win the case or not, I think he's got a very valid case against the Acme Corporation.
Is the Roadrunner the most annoying protagonist in the history of cartoons? All he does really is run and go, meet, meet.
When I was a kid, the Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons were my favorite of the Looney Tunes.
Mine too.
My absolute favorites. No, not the most annoying protagonist. I am less optimistic about this movie than Culture. Now, I have heard from some people who I think have seen it that it sounded like it's actually getting some positive word of mouth. But I've been kind of skeptical of this movie because the trailer.
You're not one to be skeptical at all.
Well, okay, fair enough. But the trailer didn't set my world on fire. Mm-hmm. And part of that is inevitable because the characters aren't being voiced by Mel Blanc. There's nothing you can do about that. They're not going to sound right. But the other thing that I've been keeping in the back of my mind is that, and I saw some people in the chat talking about it, and maybe I misunderstood, but was it last year that The Day the Earth Blew Up came out? Or was it the year before?
I think it was last year.
My understanding was that movie didn't do too well. I understood that those who saw it seemed to like it. I think it got positive word of mouth, but financially, I didn't think it had done that well. And I'm kind of forecasting that onto this as well. I'm not sure. People may go to it for the novelty, but I'm not sure that there's a hardcore group of Looney Tunes fans anymore outside of people in our age bracket. I don't know.
Let me just say this. It was a lot cheaper to make that movie way back when, and it was 2 years ago. So I went and double checked. So I understand where you're coming from. I'm just going to say that the trailer reception on this was very high compared to that other film. And I think that there's more here. This is a boy chases girl story. I mean,
I would I'll be very happy if it is a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I really would like this to succeed, and I would like to be wrong. But I wanted to be excited by the trailer, and I wasn't. And so I'm willing to be surprised, hopeful that it works out, because I would love to see Looney Tunes have a win. But
this is a girl chases boy movie?
Oh, yeah.
How?
Reverse
well,
it.
I mean, technically, it's a boy chases girl movie. Okay, it's true. I mean, she's always batting his eyelash. Roadrunner's a girl. So
I thought this was like a funny little legal thing about how he's mad that he couldn't, that the devices didn't work.
It is, but I was just trying to let everybody know that Roadrunner was a girl and was always batting eyelashes at Coyote.
You're wearing a new hat. It says Criticalist, which is where everybody should go once the movie releases so they can find out what the real score is.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to see this, I think, tomorrow afternoon. So I'll
Criticalist.com, I believe. There you go.
Yeah, well, we like that guy over there. Was it Blaine? We like
Blaine. Him. Yeah, or Lil Wing.
Well,
Lil Wing, I think is his name.
What's you know who else talks about things on Criticalist? That fellow that we get to see once in a while. His name's Jonas, I think.
He's busy doing stuff with Marty now. He's left us. He's big wig.
Whatever.
You know, making political news and waves. That Jonas guy. At least we can say we knew him, right?
That's right. Back when.
Jonas is back. Had to bring him back. Back in the groove. Jonas is back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Oh, let him shine. Jonas is back. Yeah. Had to bring him back. Jonas is back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Oh, let him shine.
Oppression getting you down.
New woke is so much better than classic woke. It's all the flavor, but now with more communism. New woke, new soda, new future.
Grab one today and taste the revolution. New woke.
And remember, there's also Woke Zero, in case you need to slip socialism into your next family event.
All right, we've got to say goodbye to Culture Casino. He's got to get the show ready for the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you. Culture, been a lot of fun. Are you guys going to explain what the heck is going on?
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
I just searched it up, and I swear Roadrunner was male, and I looked it up, and Roadrunner is male.
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's not a dude.
Well, why would you bat your eyelashes?
You lied to us.
What are you suggesting about the coyote culture?
He's very confused.
I don't know.
It's a different species, okay? That's why.
Here we go with the bird and ernie thing again. Culture just can't get out of it, I tell you.
Yeah. Coyote has exotic tastes.
Yeah, like you and chicken. Holy cow.
The Roadrunner never laid an egg. All right, Culture. Are you guys going to explain what in the world Warner Brothers was thinking when you do the Hollywood Backlot?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Dolly and
Paramount.
We might get a little into, more into this catch-up stuff, but mostly I think that's it.
I recommend Sriracha. I mean, really, ketchup is like generations ago.
Yeah, but there's a lot to get into, and I just want to say I had a lot of fun on the show. Kingman Lee, you are special, and Lorne, I cannot wait to see you. Well, actually, that's a compliment. And Lorne, I cannot wait to see you shorn. And with that, peace out.
Likewise, Shorty.
Cogman, in case you don't know, and Cogman, it's Cogman, right? Not Kangman.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Because
what are you gonna
Korean
do?
Pronunciation is Kangmin, and then so the closest English pronunciation is gonna be Kongmin, but it's spelled Kangmin. Like you look at it, you say, "Oh, Kang," right?
All right, give me the Korean pronunciation again.
It's Kangmin.
Okay, so it would sound strange if I was saying, and right now we're taking a look at what's happening with Warner Brothers. Kangmin, would you tell me exactly what? Like that would.
I would
feel odd if I did that.
Maybe, but I'd actually appreciate it because it's like, oh, like you're actually trying. Which
see, I always like when I'm doing a What are you laughing about down there?
Then he said you're actually trying, which means you still butchered it, but he appreciated the attempt.
Yeah, but I do. I don't consider a microaggression or anything offensive.
Like if I'm doing a thing where I need to say a Spanish name, I'm fluent in Spanish, but I will very seldomly actually pronounce it like full blown switch the accent. I'll do like Javier, right? But I don't.
¿Por qué no?
Porque cuando yo uso el acento de español, es un poco difícil para los, well, for the listeners, if I keep doing that, they won't know what I'm saying. But it's difficult for the...
Claro.
Sí, es importante que te claro. But it's a little bit disconcerting when you juxtapose your accent with another one very quickly.
That's
and so
true.
I'll kind of middle ground it. So anyway. Lauren, shall you middle ground the super chats for us, please?
We got Laura Mom Rocks for $5 saying no to Lauren shaving his eyebrows, beard and hair only. Charity should be Imagination Library. And I would actually say I would be in favor of that because that is a charity I would definitely support.
That is a great idea. So we are going to shave you for the Imagination Library.
That does make it a little bit more acceptable to me.
Is there a physical location? Una locación físico. Is there a physical location that we might be able to, like, is there a real Imagination Library somewhere that we could shave you on the lawn until the cops arrive?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
That's the whole point of an Imagination Library.
Oh, well played, sir.
Imagination Land.
Paul 12,000 for $5. Some of you are aware that my wife had a knee surgery today. She's doing well and will hopefully be home tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
That's right. Paul, we're wishing your wife well, and please keep us updated. We'd love to know how things are going. Hopefully she is at home soon, and you need to be a good husband. Give her one of those little bells, and when she rings the bell, you need to be at her beck and call.
We have God Revealed 888 gifting 1,000 jewels for a trophy cake.
I love me a trophy cake.
We have Parnas Dax gifting 350 jewels for a finger heart.
Which coincidentally does not work nearly as well as a real heart, but we still love it. Never make your hearts out of fingers.
We have Juliet gifting 800 jewels for a husky.
Thank you for dropping the husky. They're not like cats, though. They never land on their feet.
We have Joppy gifting 200 Swedish crowns for, if you search for Dolly Parton on Google, you'll be able to see an animation put there by Google on top of the window. Honestly, she's one of the few stars in the world that I've always felt was genuinely a good person.
Who else is a genuinely good person? Who else is a celebrity who's a genuinely good person? Carmen, you got somebody to throw up there?
Any modern celebrity, I would say Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt's a genuinely, authentically good person. He's very kind, and even when the woke mob came for him, even all of his left-wing, show stars, the co-stars were all like, no, he's a great guy. Don't come after him. So that just speaks to his conduct and his character.
I think so. I think you're right. Lauren, who would you put up as a genuinely kind celebrity?
I didn't have somebody ready at the top of my think space. Let me come back to you on that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I will say, I know Gina Carano isn't like an A-lister in Hollywood anymore.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Gina is the sweetest person you'll ever meet. I've had the privilege of meeting her a few times, and just the sweetest, kindest, most gentle person you'll ever meet. You wouldn't expect that out of like a legendary MMA fighter, but she is truly a treasure. Yeah.
We've got Jason Nelson for 2 saying Dolly was of faith, did a great duet with Zach Williams.
And there's a high likelihood it's playing in Dollywood for the next few weeks. The entire background music soundtrack for Dollywood adjusted to be songs such as that.
We've got Snarky Distinct Fudge Dora for 5 saying Pro never gets lost at Disney World. Every wrong turn he just calls exclusive insider information.
I was at Disney World earlier this year, and there was a situation where we needed to get to another location really fast. And so I took these weird twists and turns and went through these buildings and popped out, exactly where we had to be on time. And the person who was with me said, "How did you do that?" And I said, "WDW Pro, what are you talking about?" And now you all get to rename what WDW stands for, because we don't cover theme parks anymore. So get ready. We'll be putting that out this week, actually, for you all to vote on those acronym changes. What does WDW stand for?
Richard Frizzell for 2 saying Dolly unified, the DSA must divide to conquer.
Seems so.
Libra All Woman for $5 says Pro, I rewatched the Haggis Ghost Pepper episode.
I was trying to figure out the acronym. Okay, go ahead.
Culture Casino forewarned you 4 separate times, 2 times before eating and 2 times after eating.
Oh, well, that 2 times after really helped. I'm so thankful that he told me after I had already committed the foul. So, Kongman, I ate so I was paid to eat haggis, and I actually found out that it's quite delicious, but in small quantities. I wouldn't eat a lot of it. But then I had a ghost pepper, and I bit into the ghost pepper. The ghost pepper was much hotter than a usual ghost pepper, and I had milk, and so I thought, well, I'll take one on the chin, and people can laugh about it, but I'll drink the milk, and I'll be fine, And because I've eaten ghost peppers before, and no biggie, I don't have to have milk. But this was really incredibly hot. Mm-hmm. So I start drinking the milk, and I'm thinking, oh no, I don't know what's happening. This is worse. Like, this is actually making it much, much worse. I'm in trouble here. I didn't realize, or I'd forgotten, that it's the milk fat that makes it go away. I was drinking, literally, it said skim milk on the carton, like 0%. So I'm just like moving the capsaicin all over
your.
My throat was burning. Every part of my mouth was burning. And I was like, what has happened? What? I've got devil milk. What is this? And apparently in my delirium, culture was telling me, hey, you're going to hurt. You shouldn't drink that. You're going to hurt. But I couldn't focus on anything. The tunnel was there. It was not pleasant.
Not at all.
Snarky Distinct Fudgedora for 5 says, Pro takes a ladder to Disney to reach the top of the rumor paywall.
I just skim those extra thumb drives off Mike Zero as he's driving by. They fall off of his vehicle, and I just pick them up and see what's happening. We make it up.
John Maynor for $4.99 saying, classic liberals had allowed this mess to occur.
Well, sometimes that's what empathy will do. If you have a proclivity for empathy, sometimes you'll let people into the club who will just absolutely take it over. And I think classical liberals now, I mean, this is the thing, right? I mean, we've got people like Rogan saying, I didn't think I was a conservative, but the line moved on me. Mm-hmm. Now look, I've got nowhere else to go.
Richard Frizzell for 5 saying, are we living in the beginning of that day when they believe the strong delusion that they should believe a lie or the lie?
They believe in narrative and power.
So they'll force you to believe lies and the lie, yeah.
That's right.
Chef Eddie for 2 saying, Shorn Lorn for the children. Farah, Festa, Balada.
I think it's pronounced Balda.
Well, it's not how he spelled it.
No.
I'm giving him his money's worth. Paul, 12,000 for 5 saying, my favorite Roadrunner skit is the Teal Boys watching the show, and Coyote explains to them why he chases the Roadrunner. I don't guess I ever saw that.
I haven't seen that either.
I have seen episodes where he spoke, but I don't remember that particular one.
Those are unpleasant. I don't think the Coyote should ever speak.
Really?
No, he should hold up signs. There should be a law about this. I mean, I'm not a big government guy, but I'll make an exception here.
I think that was actually in the original script rules for writing those episodes. But
it's like Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry should not speak. The other animals, they can speak. The duck can, say, are you my mama? And the dog can do whatever. But Tom and Jerry, no talking.
All right.
Just hitting each other.
Pass the law. Oh my God. Joppy, what is this?
Joppy for 500 Swedish crowns. And I'm going to get this wrong. I'm going to try Mr. Kongman Lee, but Lee Kongman C. I don't know. First time I have a chance to ask a Korean American interested in storytelling to a certain degree. This is a Disney Channel after all, so I hope you don't mind it. Have you ever watched K-dramas? If you have, then what do you think?
Yeah, so the first part is like my name, Lee Kongmin Shi. So Shi is what you add to the end of someone's name if you're trying to be polite in Korean culture. But yeah, I've watched so many Korean dramas, not all of them, of course, because there's so many, but I've watched many and I love them. I think they have so many elements of good classical storytelling. They do have character arcs. They do have a lot of stories have the classical hero's journey, and they're creative. They're fun. They're new. They're inventive. And so I deeply, deeply like it. And one of the biggest reasons why I like Korean drama so much is that in an age in America and the West, where they're trying to subvert everything that makes romance so special and appealing and captivating, Korean dramas don't shy away from it. So the male lead is masculine and strong. He's protective. And the female lead, she's feminine. She's lovely. And usually they go through their own character arcs where they're a little bratty and they're annoying, but then they soften up under the protection of a strong man. So it's nice. It's a really great dynamic. It's very refreshing in an age in Western entertainment where they're trying to subvert all of that. So I do deeply appreciate and like Korean dramas. And that's why there's a huge surge, not only in America, but all across the world. I was in Latin America last month for a mission trip with my church, and it's just the amount of Latinos who came up to me and were like, "Can I get a picture? Can I get a picture?" And then I asked them, like, "Oh, like, do you watch Korean dramas?" They're like, "Yes, I love Korean drama. I love K-pop." It's because they have those elements that are so lost in Western entertainment of, a good masculine lead and a good feminine lead. And so I think that dynamic is so central, especially for any romance in any story. And they have a lot of that in Korean drama. So I think that's why a lot of people flock to it. Yeah.
Time to piggyback off Joppy, maybe you can educate me because I don't know the answer to this. Right now, what would you say is the biggest difference between K-dramas and J-dramas?
I would say that, well, I might be biased, but I do find Korean actors to be the best right now in the entire world when it comes to emoting, when it comes to actually delivering good and compelling performances. And I haven't watched too many Japanese movies and dramas. The most recent one I watched was Alice in Borderland, which was really good. But I felt a lot of the performances fell flat. And maybe it's just because I'm not Japanese, but that's one big difference where they really train the actors like really hard in Korea, and they're training constantly, and only the best of the best make it. And so although it is a very competitive society in Korea, it does produce, right, the best actors, the best cinema, and then also when you think about beauty, the best skincare, the best makeup. And so that's what I see different. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think also a lot of Korean, because there's a lot of historical dramas, right? So a lot of that's influenced, and a lot of like Korean stories that are very mythological and linked to Korean folklore is very different than Japanese mythological stories and Japanese folklore. So for example, K-pop Demon Hunters was very popular, and a good chunk of it, not all of it, but a good chunk of it was, motivated by and inspired by Korean folklore. And it's very different than if you, for example, watch Makoto Shinkai movies, which is very Japanese folklore related. It's very different. Although it's similar because we're both East Asian societies, it's different. So I think that's probably the two places where I'll say it's different. I think the caliber of acting is better, and also the source for mythological stories and stories that are rooted in history, like historical dramas, those are different as well because it comes from different histories of two different nations.
All right. Fantastic question, Joppy, and thank you for the answer. We're going to go through these a little bit quickly to get to everybody to Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you. So, Lauren, hang tight. I'm going to read these as we move fast now. Doge Pal for 5. All the fans who are mad at Warner Brothers Zaslav for shelving the Looney Tunes films proved them right, as no one showed up for the first movie. Don't screw up this time. Let's hope it's not another Space Jam. We've got Snarky Distinct Fudge Door out there for 2. John Bon Jovi is a class act. Yeah, I've heard that about him. Absolutely. We've got Abagor, member for 14 months. Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes. Not trustworthy. I agree. But when films appear that I think they would like to sneer at and they do well, that's when I say, wait, what's going on? We've got a quiet kid out there dropping 5 jewels for a treat. It's a treat to see you out there. Thank you. Alan Jen, member for 16 months. Shave Lorne near the Dolly statue and give the money to the Imagination Library. There! Problem solved! Lorne, would you lay in the arms of the Dolly statue while we shave you?
I'm pretty sure we'd be escorted away by security.
Yep, but for 5 minutes, it'll be a stream of infamy.
A glorious stream.
That's right. Joppy for 50 crowns. Modern American storytelling versus K-dramas right now. Which do you think is better? I 100% prefer K-dramas. Well, I can just tell you, take a look at how the cultural impact from East Asia is taking over the West, and you'll say, wait a minute, I think I know the answer now.
Yep.
Paul 12,000 for 2, episode called Zip Zip Hooray, 1965. And we've got Snarky Distinct Fudge Door for 5. I work with several Koreans, and speaking that language, they almost always sound passed off. Observation. Is that ticked off?
Yeah, what does that mean, passed off?
I think Snarky tried to write ticked off, and it didn't go through the right way. I think that's what happened here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, some languages use intonation to change the meaning of a sentence. Is that the case in Korean?
No, Korean's phonetic, so it's not like that. But when Koreans are very passionate, they elevate their voice like all the way up here.
I see.
Let me introduce you to German.
No, they've caused enough troubles in the past. Doge Pal for 2. Favorite line from Tomcat. Don't believe it. Don't you believe it? Well, folks, we believe it. We believe we've had a great show because of all of you out there. We appreciate you. You're seen and heard right here on the Pro Channel. And I know that you'll have a great time if you go on over to Kongman Lee and his channel, as well as his huge, vast social media presence. But on YouTube, get over there and subscribe today. And folks, if you'll do it with me right now, hover your cursor over the subscribe button. We're going to click it all together, all of us. We've got about, how many we got? About 600 joining us right now on YouTube and hundreds more on X. Folks, you can do it. You can be the next subscriber in 3, 2, 1. Subscribed, everybody. Hop on in. I felt so badly about this the other day, Kongman. We were on That Garden Place, which is Culture's second channel, and I had unsubscribed so that we could resubscribe to do that thing. I didn't realize that I was literally his 700th subscriber, so when I unsubscribed, he dropped back down to $6.99. I was like, I'm so sorry that we've done this gimmick today. Anyway, folks, thank you for coming our way. Kongman, what do you got coming out soon on your platforms?
Yeah, so I had a weekly show that I did Tuesday and Thursday, but then my producer left recently, so I'm restructuring that. But we're gonna launch that again next week in September. But we are talking all things culture, politics, and faith over on my channel. And if you're interested in hanging out and chilling while I game and I play Fortnite, Mario, whatever, you can always just head over to my gaming channel or follow me on Kick and Twitch, where we hang out, we game, we talk, and it's a good time.
Carmen, I was listening to a debate today as I was making my way traveling to and from Dollywood, and the debate was about predestination and free will, and that debate within Christianity. And so I think that would be an interesting thing for you and me to talk about sometime in the future, because I contend that the whole purpose of entertainment is to let us role play with our free will what it means to make the right choice in a given situation. So I think the whole, that's what entertainment is. And so I don't know if that's something interesting to you. Maybe we can get together sometime and chat about that and the theological discussions that are happening around that right now. Centuries old, I would say.
Oh, centuries old. It is such like a can of worms, but it's so fun to talk about. I'd love to. That's
right. Folks, normally we would do the super chat goal. We'll find a way to work around it. We're hitting the goal, and we do literally have to end the show. So we don't have time for an AMA right now, because otherwise we cut out Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you, and that would be very unkind of us. So we'll get a reward going here shortly. Doge Pal for 5, Lesbian Space Princess has resurfaced. It's so woke the Tumblr audiences it panders to rejected it. Even Steven Universe plus Has-Been Hotel fans hate it. Well, stay away from that, eh? Again, folks, tomorrow we'll get some sort of reward for tonight. We cannot stop to do the AMA right now simply because we are literally sending you over to Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you. So instead, we'll give you this. How about some New Woke Ale?
Caffeine and alcohol? I don't think so. That's why New Woke Soda is now branching out into beer. Why get buzzed when you can get soy?
Wow, I feel less masculine already. Thanks, New Woke Ale.
The shadow grows. We must act. The enemy has found the roost. Our arrows are ready, but we need a plan. Then we fly to Mordor. Flock for the plan. by the line of Rooster! Take that, you rib! What have they done?